So last August, I put in my first catchment pond, and I had read about creating a natural ecosystem to prevent algae and buildup. And it worked great until it didn't. That's what we're going to talk about today. Behind me is the pond that I installed last August. I did this at the base of a hillside. I dug down 3.5 feet because I wanted to be able to overwinter fish. And I didn't really want to use this as like a swale collection system. Runoff from the hillside was not the primary intention. Otherwise, I would have mapped on contour. What I did was put it at the base of a hillside so that when we get flooding events, I could collect some of that overlap from the water. But really, I just wanted to have a watering hole or a source where I could collect or pool water, even from a hose if needed, to water the adjacent food forest that I have recently installed where I have blueberries and a whole bunch of herbs and that sort of thing. Well, long story short, I had created this ecosystem that would keep algae naturally in check. So I used hornwort inside, horsetail on the perimeter. I had duckweed floating on top. I had water hyacinth, and then I also had snails inside and mosquito fish. And all of these things were supposed to create this oxygen exchange system that would help purify water. And it worked really well for a while until the ducks found it. And the ducks ate the duckweed, they ate the snails, and they probably ate the fish too. It's too murky in there now for me to tell how many are left, if any. And the water hyacinth did not overwinter, even though it was supposed to. So what happened? Well, I haven't been able to get to this pond until now because there's too many pressing projects on the farm in spring. And so now I have an algae-filled mess. And you can't use algae water to water plants regularly. It's not good for it. So what I need to do is drain this out and kind of start all over. But this time I'm going to add a solar bubbler. I don't want to run extension cords up here. So I found a bubbler that suits the size of the pond. And then I will reintegrate all of those things that I just told you about. This weekend, I put this edging on. I don't know if you can see that there. Looks like rock. It's not. It's not an ad. I'm just telling you what I used. It's called Rock on a Roll. And it has this texture on it that invites algae and moss to live and to stay. And then in addition to that, I have rocks on the outside there, but I've also got rocks in the bottom. When those rocks get slimy, that's because microorganisms are building up on there, which are actually feeding on the algae and helping to purify the pond. Would I call this a failure? No. I call it learning through experience. All I need to do is just get this drained out. That bubbler is on order. Hopefully it'll come today or tomorrow. Get it reinstalled, and then add the fish, add the snails back in, add a few more plants such as the duckweed, and hopefully we're just going to be off to the races for the year.